Hi, my name is Mark, and I just want to spend a couple minutes talking to you about tinnitus and how Liam really changed my life. So, I got tinnitus about 3 years ago, and I got it after I received a dental implant, and I left the dental office, and that night it felt like I had gone to an AC/DC concert and my ears had been shattered. It was only in one ear, and I thought it must be some sort of medical issue. I went back to the doctor and she sent me to an ENT. And tinnitus was something I knew about because my dad had had tinnitus for 30 years, and we tried all sorts of crazy things with my dad, with putting drops in his ears and different types of headphones with vibrations, and nothing worked for him. And so I went dutifully to the ENT, and the ENT told me I had hearing loss and told me that I would need an MRI and that I probably had a cyst in my ear, and all of it just seemed, I don't know, fishy to me. I was skeptical about the time I spent at the ENT, and I decided not to go back. I decided not to get the MRI. I said, you know what, I'm going to figure this out on my own. And fortunately, by the grace of God, my wife found Liam and suggested that I follow him. So I began following Liam, looking at some of his videos on YouTube and following his Instagram, and I started feeling some relief. But what I realized was this wasn't, a magic pill. This wasn't something you just had to change and easily it would come. And so I realized I needed to do his course. And so I bought his course, and that changed my life. Watching all of his videos and how much care and time and effort he put into that was just extraordinary. And I learned so much, not about only tinnitus, but just how to live a happier, more healthful life. And as my wife and I always joke, it's about healthspan, not lifespan. And Liam has changed our healthspan because he's onto something very special that everyone should be doing, frankly, regardless of whether they have tinnitus. And so, uh, about 3 months ago or so, after sunlight, morning sunlight, grounding, grass-fed meats, liver, cold therapy, sauna, eliminating oxalates from my life. The list goes on, and you guys that have seen his videos know what's on those lists, and it's a lot. But I did it, and I did it pretty religiously. I wasn't always perfect, and none of us are, but about 3 months ago, I was on a camping trip with my wife, and I was going to sleep. And when I go to sleep, that's always when it kind of hits me the hardest, because that's when, the world is quiet. I was camping, it was complete silence around me. And, the night before, I'd still had, a pretty significant ringing in my left ear. And it's just hard. It's depressing when you go to sleep every night like that, particularly when it's so quiet when you're out camping. And then the next night, my wife was in bed, and I was putting some stuff away, and I had complete silence. And my instinct was to, go wake up my wife and tell her, oh my God, I have silence. And I said, you know what? I'm just afraid it's not real. I was so afraid it wasn't real, because it was just magical to be in that moment and hear silent and hear nothing, have silence. And so what I did was I said, I'm going to go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and if I still have silence, I'm going to tell my wife. So I went to bed that night, woke up in the morning, and got up before she did, and I went outside and listened to nothing. I had complete silence. I woke her up. I told her what had happened. I told her that I had silence, and we both just held each other and we wept for probably 5 minutes. Because if you have tinnitus and you find a way to make it go away, there's just a feeling of joy and relief, and a weight that is removed from your shoulders that's really hard to explain, because there are days where you just literally don't want to be on this earth, because it's so distracting, it's so painful, it so affects your life. And so I reached out to Liam. I said, oh my God, dude, you're a legend. You literally saved me. And he was so kind. And I think he finds, great joy in bringing so many of us silence. He really has, changed my life, changed my family's life. And in fact, my dad, who had had tinnitus for 30 years, I started giving him some advice. And in the last couple months, my dad's tinnitus is gone as well. And so, Liam, thank you for me. Thank you for my dad. I think the other thing that's important to remember about this is that you're going to screw up, and it may come back. And, I've done that a few times. I've gone out to a couple parties and, you kind of are exposed to, types of food you wouldn't normally eat, or you have too many drinks, and it does come back. But the anxiety doesn't come back because you have the tools that Liam has given us to make it go away. And I've done that. I've had it come back, and I said, okay, just get right back on the program, and it goes away. And so that's what's beautiful. That anxiety of when it comes back is just so much reduced because you have the tools to make it go away. So thank you, Liam. God bless you. You are a legend. My family thanks you. My father thanks you. And I hope, more people kind of reach out to you, buy your course, follow your advice, because it will change their lives. So, Liam, thank you, and God bless.